Welcome, everybody, to a new episode of the Pondcast. I'm your host, Draco. Joining me today is Guren.
Yeah, hello.
And today we're going to be talking about that Pokemon Presents. I know we're a little late on this one, but unfortunately I was also celebrating my birthday last week, so we could not record. Hopefully y'all got a chance to see it, soak it in, enjoy it, be surprised, be amazed. I know I was. There was a lot of emotions going through me and Guren because we were watching it together, and it was kind of interesting. Let's just get right into it. So, Guren, when that trailer started to roll and they had the security guard walking through the buildings, what was your first thought?
I thought it was Detective Pikachu right off the bat. Like, oh yeah, we're gonna get Detective Pikachu 2 live action movie, yeah. And then the second thought in my head was like, wait, I thought they canceled that or something, but I wasn't entirely sure.
I see like the security guy walking around, and he's got his light flashing around here. And I'm like, what, is he gonna just discover a game or something? You know, is this gonna be a spin-off? Are we doing another Dungeons game? Are we doing Rangers game, like a Coliseum port, something? And then he gets to the GameFreak office, and the list starts to narrow, and I was like, no, they didn't. But then they show the coffee cup, and I'm like, oh man, it's Detective Pikachu.
Yeah, the coffee cup is like, oh yeah, Detective Pikachu. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I'm down for it, but I'm kind of disappointed a little bit.
yeah, and it turns out that was actually a red herring, which is great. I gotta say that Game Freak definitely knows how to mess with their audience, because then you start seeing all of the old relics and stuff in the room, and I'm sitting there on the first pass, and I'm just like, okay, is this Detective Pikachu? Wait, did Guren maybe call this one where they're exploring doing a Detective Pikachu in the past? Because we had talked about that a couple weeks ago, and seeing all of the little trinkets and stuff on the walls, the maps and everything, and I'm just like, the gear started changing. I was like, wow, did Guren call this one?
Yeah, because it really did seem like it when you think about it. Because it's like, because I think the first thing that when we were talking about that beforehand, we were talking about like, oh yeah, you know, because like Ace Attorney had that one game where they're based in like, what was it, like Edo, Japan or something. So it's like, what's stopping Pokemon from doing this for Detective Pikachu? You know, like.
Well, between that and then we got to talking a little bit about Pokemon Conquest, which also takes place back, and then you have Pokemon Legends Arceus, which takes place in the past. Mm-hmm. So it kind of sort of fit a little bit, like Detective Pikachu in the past.
Yeah, definitely.
But then you get to that reveal, man. That reveal where the guy looks at the picture and it flashes white, and all of a sudden you just see this whole new world. My jaw dropped, and I had to hold back the squee that was coming out of my mouth. Mind you, I am 4 decades old. I still squee. I don't care.
I see nothing wrong with that. I'm like one less than you, and like I still fangirl or fanboy over like things.
You fan person.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I'm sitting there, and the first thing that you heard me, I was like, did I just call this? Did I actually call Gen 9 announcement on Pokemon Day? Mind you, I wasn't thinking we were going to get as much as we did, but for what little we got, blew my mind.
Yeah. It was weird too, because like I think my mind couldn't process or believe it at all when they started showing like the little clips of the new region. Because like I was thinking in my head, it was like, Gen 9? No way, this can't be Gen 9. This totally looks like Sword and Shield graphics. This is probably more DLC for Sword and Shield. Like my mind really did not want to believe it at that point. And then, you know, they started showing like the newer models, and then the roaming Pokemon in the wild, like in Legends of Arceus, and I'm like, it's happening. He called it.
I mean, I've been saying it for at least January, even actually beforehand. I think I mentioned this before Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl dropped. I'm like, why would they release Pokemon Legends Arceus 1 month before Pokemon Day. It didn't make any sense to me. Let me ask. All right, what do you think about when you saw the textures?
For sure, like I first thought Sword and Shield, right? But then like that just got me thinking too though. It was like, you know what? Maybe it looks a little bit more like Legends of Arceus. Like it looked a little bit more smoothed out. I mean, granted, this is just one of those, gameplay not finalized look kind of thing, right? So
And YouTube has a terrible compression rate.
yeah, that too. And then when like more of the models started showing up, I thought, okay, this looks like they like kind of refined it a little bit at least. So like I can give them that.
Viper, the scales on Viper.
Wait, for real? Did I miss that? I remember saying
you didn't see that?
I feel like I missed it.
When I saw the scales of Viper, I was what?
Oh, you can see scales on it. Jeez, I didn't even realize that. I just saw the Survivor, I think, and then I was like, that's it.
I mean, there's the scales of Viper. There's the shine off of Magnemite. Like you can see the glare of the light, even on the screws. Like if you look really close at the screws at the actual treads, you can see there is highlights on part of the tread, and then if you look on the interior side, there's it's catching just a little bit of light, so it's giving that nice depth look to it.
I can see it. I can see it.
Yeah, I mean, even the walls. If you look at the one of the pillars during that Magnemite scene, if you pause it just right, you can see decorative stone on one of the pillars in the background. And even that, you could see a little bit of depth to it. They did a pretty good job with the reflections on this game, too. Like, I know the graphics aren't final, and I know that YouTube has crap compression, but for what we got, this was really impressive. There's a lot of nice highlights where there should be, where the sun tracks and everything. Even the plaza, if you look at that picture, you can see just that hint of shadow in some spots so that it looks like it's a raised piece. Yeah. And I don't know if that's just a flat textured or if that's an actual raised piece purposely put in there. But I mean, if you're going to try and cram a game in with as much detail as possible, you're going to want to use as little polygons as need to. So this could also be texture lighting.
That was the thing too, like, because I guess it was because it was like kind of also early in the morning for me too, right? So like I was watching the video. I think there was like a lot of stuff that I didn't like actually catch, and then I think because my mind was still half like in disbelief. So like now that I take another look at this, like it looks like they did really well, especially with like the shadows and stuff. And then like you can see the textures a little bit. I mean, granted, I said it earlier, like it's not finalized footage for the game, but like you can see like they actually like put in a lot of work into it. Like you can actually see like a little bit more, like a lot more detail on things compared to like Sword and Shield.
Well, I mean, one of the things that catches me is there are items casting shadows. So, like the scene where the camera's flying through the city square, you see the pennants, and on the ground you see details of all the little pennants that are hanging on the walls. You see the shadows being cast by the umbrellas on the chairs and tables, even the standing flower pot in this one scene. That and alone just takes a lot of setup, making sure that all your numbers are right. I mean, this game looks really clean. It really does. We only got a chunk of the region itself, so we don't exactly know what it's going to fully look like, but we do know that there's islands on the top. There's like a giant lake of some sort with some islands in there. There's
like some... They throw in their OLED switch in here.
Yeah, right? Right? It's like, oh, hey, by the way, here's the Switch. Actually, fun fact, I know they did this for... I think it was either for Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, or for Sword and Shield. But if you look at your Switch when you're playing, if you have a specific color Joy-Con attached to your Switch while you're playing, the game model in the actual game reflects those colors if they were programmed in.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so if you have the standard red and blue Joy-Cons, your Joy-Cons on the Switch would be red and blue. But if you go in and have generic Joy-Cons, they would be gray. if you had one of the special colored ones that came out with when the game had been released, if you had gotten any of the Joy-Cons that had been released up to that point, and you put them in the system, those colors, whatever they are, would be reflected in the system game.
Oh, that'd be nice, especially now since I finally did replace my Joy-Con controllers. I have the purple and orange ones. Oh man, I would love to see that in game.
Oh, my brother got a hold of the Sword and Shield, the Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword edition Joy-Cons, and he gave them to me as a gift.
Oh, nice.
So I've got the nice blue and dark blue. So I'm hoping to see those in the Gen 9 game, in Scarlet and Violet. I've been going back and forth through Cerebi to check and see what Pokemon have come in, and I have a list of 10 Pokemon, I believe, that will probably show up in this game.
Ooh.
Yeah. The 10 Pokemon I'm expecting to see, or the different Pokemon. I'm looking at Scatterbug, Spupa, and Vivillon to make a return.
Okay.
Skiddo and Gogoat. Crabrawler and Crabominal. As well as Minior, Komala, and Bruxish. It's a theory that I'm running right now with Pokemon. They've already talked about them sunsetting the system and them effectively going to shut down the 3DS store, and with that eventually is going to come the connectivity loss. Those Pokemon are the only Pokemon that are not available in anything that is connected directly to home. You need to put those Pokemon in Pokemon Bank, then transfer them to home. Well, if they cut off access to Bank, those Pokemon can't be caught in any current game. They've introduced Alola for Pokemon Go, so Pikipek, Trumbeak, Oricorio, Yungoos, Gumshoos were all added to Pokemon Go recently. So unless they're going to add those other Pokemon once they sunset the system, these are the last Pokemon that don't have anywhere to come in through, which is why I'm thinking that Gen 9 will be where these guys come in, and then you'll see the slow sunsetting of everything 3DS. I mean, what do you think about that?
I think that's actually pretty good, because I wanted to add a little bit to like the leftover Pokemon, in this case specifically like the Vivillon line. Since I guess the speculation right now, right, is for the new region to be based on like Spain, Portugal-ish, like around that area. So like what if like they do bring back Scatterbug, right? And then the Vivillon, when it evolves, it's actually like where the pattern for it is exactly like where that, you know, that you can get in that area in like Spain, Portugal. Like that's the pattern that shows up when it evolves. That'd be like a really like cool.
What they might do is they might go back and use the region of where you chose your Switch, and that's the Vivillon form you get. I mean, I like your idea of Gen 9 getting its own version of Vivillon. It would be nice, but I'm not entirely sure how they would work the alternate forms. That one's got a crazy number too. I think it's like, what, 12?
I think so. I forgot. I remember there was somebody that was like working on a living. I think it was Cerebi. He was trying to collect all of them. I think, right? Like all the different forms.
I did.
Oh, you did too. So you
I have them all.
Yeah.
It took me a while to get them, but I got them all. A lot of trading. But speaking of Pokemon, let's get down to the meat and potatoes here. Do you want Sprigato, Fuecoco, or Quaxley?
Okay. honestly, I think everybody can agree, maybe, that the starter so far, without saying final evolutions, is definitely Quacksley.
The name gets me, Quaxley, and I love the name. And the thing is that you look at that duck and he looks like a Quaxley. Like that is the perfect name for a duck, Quaxley.
Yeah, exactly. And as like a pun guy, it's like, oh my god, that is so good. That is so good.
I saw Fuecoco for the first time, and I honestly thought it was a cocoa bean, like, you know, Fuecoco, like cocoa bean. No, it's a chili pepper, dude. It's a chili pepper. I'll fully admit that.
Yeah, like because like I was even like telling my friends too. It's like, oh, dude, it's totally based on a choco bean, and they're like, but it looks like a chili pepper. No, 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 no. Even the official Cerebi site calls it a chalk croc, and then I went to go look, and I'm like, guys, I was terribly wrong. You are correct. I am so sorry. I am so dumb right now.
Well, the coloring too, kind of, it's got that that orangey dark color, which if you ever look at a Cocoa Pod, has a very similar color to it. And they're kind of chunky like that. So that's kind of where my brain went, because my grandfather used to harvest those, like he used to grow those in his backyard. And I'm gonna tell you, raw cocoa bean, horrifying taste. It's rough. You actually have to go through the whole process of turning it into cocoa to really be able to enjoy it, because fresh off the fruit, no, it tastes nothing like chocolate. Nothing. But and I mean,
companies use like cacao as like its base too.
Yeah. But then there's Sprigatito, which I gotta say, I mean, I'm totally torn between the three, and this hasn't happened in a long time for me in Pokemon. But that cat, man, that cat. Everybody in my house who have seen that cat, when I would pick that cat over all the other starters, and I'm sitting there like, I don't know, I can't choose.
I mean, this is true because like even the cat. Okay, so like initially though, like I thought the cat looked the best out of all three of them. Like for Coco was giving me for some reason I was thinking like Goofy X Sonic because of their eyes, because of the eyes on For Coco.
Yeah.
And then I was looking at Quacksley and I was kind of underwhelmed because I was like, oh man, I really want a cool water starter, you know. And then I saw Sprigatito, and then I was like, okay, this one looks the best out of the three in terms of just like how they look initially. And then, you know, after learning their names, I was like, okay, you know, that's that. And then Quacksley, and I was like, you know, that I think that bumped him up the list a little bit higher because of that name. And then I was like, you know what? It's a water type, and it's probably like what, the second duck Pokemon we have. So I guess I'm fine with that too. So like,
yeah, no, like there's a very distinct personality that's coming through to me when I look at them. Like, Fuecoco gives me very much Totodile vibes. You know, the way Totodile was depicted in the anime, kind of fun-loving and just kind of laid back. So that's kind of how I picture Fuecoco.
Okay.
Sprigatito kind of gives me the vibes of like Casquiri or Delcatty, kind of like that whole slightly mischievous but more cutesy vibe.
Okay.
You know, like, look, I'm cute. Da, 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 da. You know, might have an accident, but then still tries to be cute. And then Quaxley just has this like diligent duck look, kind of like the way Farfetch'd was depicted a lot.
Yeah.
You know how like Farfetch'd is like, okay, Farfetch'd, I'm gonna go do this now, and I'm gonna go over here, and I'm gonna go do this, and I'm gonna go over here, and I'm gonna do this, and that's kind of the vibe I'm getting from Quaxley. So like, I really get a lot of personality on just those images, and I don't know which way I'm gonna go with this personally.
Yeah, that's very true. Like, I mean, down the line for sure. Like, everyone's gonna get all three, right? Like, as soon as like, you know, games come out, everyone's rushed through the story maybe, and then people are just like breeding like crazy, you know. But like, it's so hard, that initial one that you're going to choose for this playthrough. Granted, you're like some people, or you're like others. Me sometimes, where you buy both games, you play both games, so at least you get 2 out of the 3 when you first start your adventure, or you can get all 3 because, you know, you can just trade it over to yourself or something, you know what I mean? But
you know, you can always just create a new account.
Yeah, or you can just create a new account. So but I mean, like, it's gonna be like that first one you choose, man. It's like, which one do I pick? Because once I pick this one, I'm gonna have to give it a name, and it's gonna be a really good name that's gonna match.
Oh, not only that, but I mean, I can't wait to know what their hidden abilities are. I really want to know what their final evolutions is.
Yeah, especially final evolutions. I think that's what everybody's gonna be like. Because like, I know there's definitely a few people, right? I think you mentioned it too. Like, you know, I'm waiting for like that finalized concept of like whatever their final forms are. But then you bring up what you said today, and it's like, yeah, but these first forms though, they look kind of cute, gotta choose.
Yeah. Well, with that, everybody, we hope you enjoyed our episode, and let us know what your thoughts were about Pokemon Day. Let us know what you think Hope might be in this new adventure in this Spanish-based region. Also, please remember, like, comment, subscribe. Let us know how we're doing. And with that, thank you so much for joining. Have a great day. Bye.
Bye, guys.